Well, welcome to another episode of the Coffee Break Podcast, where our mission is to share business ideas, practices, and strategies while we enjoy our cup of coffee. And today is an exciting episode. Actually, this is part one of two. We're gonna split this up into a two-part session because, we got a lot of conversation happening with Jeffrey and Jen Gitomer. They're with by Gitomer sales training. Jeffrey Gitomer has been writing books on sales and relationship building since the early 90s. So he has become somewhat of an authority, and he's going to be talking about how he established that reputation and how he maintains that reputation. Very intriguing conversation, and it's very fast-paced and high energy, so make sure you buckle up, and you may want to get an extra cup of coffee because it's going to be coming at you really, really fast. But it's going to be a very valuable conversation to tune into today. It's all happening right here on the Coffee Break Podcast.
Got so much to say, we got a podcast to make. We're sipping on lattes, and it's time for a coffee break. It's time for a coffee break. Oh yeah.
In our company,
Yes.
we have no political correctness whatsoever.
Shocking,
Really?
right?
I can't. That is.
We have, there's no language filter.
Okay.
We just don't.
Yeah.
I don't even have it with our daughter.
Okay.
What am I going to do? Like fake? Like I don't.
Sure.
Yeah. So that allows people to be themselves
Yeah.
all the time.
Okay.
And we're friendly.
Sure.
I don't have a team of people. We have a family.
Yeah.
We have a family business, and all the people in the business are family members. And I think that's an important thing an important differentiation, because people say, well, my employees,
Yeah.
I don't even want to say my coworkers.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
just, I'm older than they are. I treat them like sons and daughters.
Yeah. That makes sense.
And it makes for a better camaraderie inside of the thing. However, you go out in the world and you meet resistance.
Mm-hmm.
And I go to the airport. We go to the airport all the time.
Sure.
I mean, literally, I don't own the airport, but I control it.
Sure.
I know all the sky caps. I know all the people of importance. I know them.
Yeah.
And when I get a TSA person that's
A jerk.
Not nice.
Yeah, right. I think the politically correct word would be asshole.
Okay.
And I tell them that it costs no extra money to be friendly.
Yeah.
And you know what they say?
What's that?
I'm friendly. Got it.
Yeah.
Got it, bub. And so the challenge that you have is you're constantly barraged by people that don't quite get it. Luckily, we lived in New York City.
Yeah.
Where no one is basically friendly. And I grew up in Philadelphia, where people think that New York City people are friendly.
I can definitely see that. That's interesting. But it's one of the interesting things. If you ever travel to New York, or if you know anybody from there, obviously you guys, right? Yeah. They're friendly in their way. They're just
Right.
straightforward. They just
Right.
don't. They just
Right. They're matter of fact.
Right.
Yeah.
That we don't waste time, or we think it's wasting time, like buffering it with,
Right. You go into a Starbucks and you go up to the barista, the person at the cash register or whatever, and I'll say like, hey, how's it going? What do you want?
Yeah. Yeah. In the South, we like to exchange pleasantries for too long.
Exactly.
But in Charlotte, they want to know, how's your mama? And them.
Very true.
How's your daddy?
Yeah. Well, mostly because everybody knows each other too.
That's true.
Yeah.
All right. Number 3. What are you an expert at?
Selling. Sales.
Selling.
Yeah.
Father.
Look at there.
I have 48 years of experience.
Well, that would
And grandfather.
Yeah.
4 daughters, 4 granddaughters.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
2 dogs, girls. 1 wife, girl. So there's no men in the region.
But if we get a Blenheim, it could be a boy.
Yeah, great. So, but the challenge that you have is you become an expert, number one, by how your parents raised you,
Mm-hmm.
and especially fathers, because they tend to be more absent
Okay.
than the mother. And then you transfer that somehow into your philosophy and your strategy.
Mm-hmm.
And I took the parts that I really liked and I brought them forward, and the parts that I hated and I eliminated them.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, your parents teach you how to be a parent.
Cool.
Because you don't go to school like algebra, history,
Parenting.
Right.
Life experience, that's where you get it from. Number 4, last place you'd be caught dead.
Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah. That's a pretty good
We
one.
passed one yesterday, and Gabrielle was saying, our 10-year-old was saying, I don't really like Chuck E. Cheese. I got sick there. And I'm like, I've never been to one.
Yeah.
That's an experience.
Yeah.
It's
I'm out.
It's not really one that you would want to
No,
experience. Yeah, so that's pretty
Yeah.
safe.
And I like Chick-fil-A. It's not that I don't like fast food. It's
Yeah.
just, there's something about like Chuck E. Cheese that just sounds too cheesy.
I don't want to be, I want to try to be apolitical in this, but the place that I would not be
Really?
caught dead is Tehran, because I would be dead there. Or I would be,
Yeah.
I have fear, like we travel the world,
Sure.
but there's some places you just don't go.
Yeah.
So, North Korea, Tehran,
You went really deep on that one.
Yeah. Well, you had a speaking offer there.
Yeah.
And it was right before they shut down.
$100,000.
Yes.
$100,000.
And I was like, I don't know if we can go. I'm Googling this. It says it's not safe for American passports, to go there. But we're like, but it's $100,000.
Yeah.
And like,
you can feel a lot safer
upfront.
for $100,000.
And
promise
they're
you,
saying
like,
we pick you up.
oh,
There's
shit.
security. There's this. And then all of a sudden it gets shut down.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we
That's crazy.
lost, but
Yeah.
we won.
There you
Yeah. I think we won.
go. All right. Last question on the rapid fire. Which celebrity would you pick to exchange lives with?
No one. I
Right,
want my
no.
life.
I'm giving a no one also.
Really?
Not even close.
That's awesome answers.
Yeah.
Just totally.
I like some of them.
Yeah. But you wouldn't want to exchange it. Yeah.
No.
And I grew up, luckily, my family had exposure. So my dad's best friend knew Ed McMahon from The Tonight Show. So
Yeah.
we would sit on the aisle with Johnny and we were there. I would wait behind the theater for Woody Allen to come out so I could talk to him.
Yeah.
I hung out at the Iridium Theater to see Les Paul on a Monday night.
Yeah.
There's plenty of people that I totally admired that I wanted to go see. We just saw Springsteen on Broadway.
Yeah.
I don't want to be them.
Sure.
They got their
Right.
own shit.
Sure. Yeah.
And I want to, I'll learn from them.
Sure.
So I'll admire them.
Mhm.
I'll even respect some of them, but I don't want to be them. I wake up in the morning and that dude,
Yeah.
bathroom mirror, me.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
great. That's great.
Yeah.
So that concludes.
So who
our-
are some of the other answers?
Wait,
that you
what
got?
are our scores? How
what-
much did I win by?
That's what I was getting ready to tell you.
Oh,
Rapid fire. That was the conclusion of that 1,000 points.
Oh.
And that's a record score, but it's also the record length of rapid fire. So
Nothing is rapid.
what have people said when they want to exchange themselves with somebody
well,
else?
it's always different questions. I don't know that I've ever asked that question to anyone before.
Interesting.
Totally random.
Yeah.
What if they'd want to be like a movie star? Like, I want to be Lady Gaga.
Mm,
No, she's a dork.
Some people might want to,
that'd
though.
be a rough life.
However, did you see her concert when she came to Charlotte?
No, I didn't.
Unbelievable.
Oh, yeah.
One of the best live performances I've ever seen.
I've heard that.
Yeah, she's good.
I can't tell you the last time I went to a live concert.
We'll take you.
We
Okay.
should change that.
Yeah. We're going to an a cappella one.
Oh, yeah, we are.
And we have an extra seat.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you can come
There we
with
go.
us.
Yeah.
I'm down.
Oh, you can't bring the
So-
wife because we only have one extra seat.
I'm sure she won't mind. Make sure this is aired after that. Can you copy this key? That's a question we get asked about 3,422 times a year. And how can you actually be sure that the person who asked that question is supposed to get a copy of that key? Well, we think you should always know who can copy your keys to your business and your home, because it could be your neighbor, an old employee, a contractor, or even worse, your mother-in-law. At Loc-Doc Security, we believe in protected key systems, so you always know who has a copy of your key. To find out more, visit locdoc.net or stop by our Charlotte location. Loc-Doc Security, helping you protect your people and your property.
So, how are things?
Things are great. First of all, as we get started into this conversation that we've already been into for a long time, I really thank you very much for taking time out of your guys' schedule to be here. This is awesome.
It did piss us off.
It did.
We had other shit to do. Today.
Well,
What?
No,
We were
happy
excited to be here.
Exactly.
it's been really cool. I was doing some research on you guys just to kind of be prepared for the conversation, and was going back through, and I've been familiar, obviously, with at least Jeffrey for a while. I've been following you on Instagram for a while as well. So, but I remember one of the first times that I physically was doing work at your facility,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, I think at that time you were right in the middle of releasing the little red book of selling.
Oh, wow.
And so you walked in there, I was like, what in the world? Who is this guy? And then you started doing some research. Yep, there you go.
That's your copy.
Oh, thank you very
I'll
much.
sign it, and you can go on eBay when I'm dead.
We'll definitely do that. I appreciate that. But it was around that time. It was like, all right, who is this guy? What? And so I've been very familiar with that with you since then, and seen a lot of what you've done. The very interesting thing is over the past probably 2 or 3 years, I have come into contact with so many people in a very similar circle, even people that have been on this podcast that have been connected with you in one way or another. And so it's been a really cool thing. And so it's really an honor and privilege to have you guys here.
I agree.
So
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Awesome. You guys, and specifically Jeffrey, it refers to himself as the king of sales. So
Right.
why is that?
Well, early on, one of my partners in business, a guy I was in the T-shirt business with, we would always try to do something where the other guy had to call the other guy king.
Okay.
So whether it was shooting a ping pong ball into a goldfish bowl or whatever, we had
Sure.
one night we were in a Cadillac convertible from one of our friends, and we had these nails in the back of his car, these 16-penny nails, big nails, and he would slow down when we went to a stop sign, and we try to hit the nail against the stop sign and cling it, and the other guy had to call the other guy king so we always were vying. I would subscribe to magazines
Okay.
as Jeffrey King, and it would piss him off. And I'd have business cards. We'd go do consulting at companies, and I would always print one for myself, King.
Gotcha.
So I always had that sort of thing.
Sure.
But when it came to selling, I never found anybody who was better than I was.
Okay.
And so I referred to myself as I'm the king of sales. Prove me otherwise.
Yeah.
Like I'll go talk in front of an audience of 500 people.
Mm-hmm.
We'll put 10 grand in cash at the end of the platform.
Okay.
Any other sales guy can go and do the same thing. Put the 10 grand there. We'll have the audience vote. Winner takes the 10,000.
Gotcha.
Got it?
Mm-hmm.
Cash, not like checks or anything like it. Cash.
You've never lost it.
Well, I've never had anyone take me up on it.
You just intimidated them all.
I don't know what it is, but I have studied sales.
Mm-hmm.
I have a library that has 2,500 volumes on the subject of selling that date back to the 1800s.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a student. I'm knowledgeable as a world-class expert, maybe the world-class expert, but certainly a world-class expert. And I study it every day.
Sure.
It's not like I got this now.
Yeah.
No, I wake up in the morning and I study.
Yeah.
And I prepare.
Well, that would classify.
So
you as
I
a
am the king of
There you
sales,
go.
and anybody else wants it, I don't care. Tough shit.
Come try to take it.
Right.
I think if you want to be the king or queen in your business, then you have to proclaim it. It starts with you thinking internally that you're the world-class expert, or you're the authority, the leading authority on whatever it is that you do.
Yeah.
And then you can become king too.
Yeah, nobody dubbed me.
It's like-
I dubbed my damn self.
Yeah, that
Right.
goes back to the humility thing that you don't like.
Right. I love that humility. Yeah. Humility and why
Just
we
claim
need
it.
more of it. Right.
But here's the thing, if you want others to believe that you are the authority on something,
Sure.
you have to believe it first.
That's
if you're listening right now, go to Google,
Yeah.
Google me, Jeffrey Gitomer, and go to my website, Gitomer.com, and you'll see my logo. It's like a G with a crown
It's a
over the top.
crown.
There you go.
Yep.
And I didn't even do that. One of our great friends designed the logo for us, never even talked to us about it, and said, "Here, I think this suits you."
Yeah.
And we used it.
I've seen the logo. I didn't correlate the two things together, but now that's pretty solid.
There you go.
I mean,
It's
damn.
subtle.
It's very, very, very
damn.
subtle. Yeah. So I wanted to talk about, you've got a podcast that you guys do.
We do.
Sell or Die.
Yep.
How did that come about? And the real question that I have, obviously we're on a podcast here, so just an understanding of how you're seeing that medium work in what you're doing on a daily basis, because obviously you're doing YouTube, you've got a lot of content out there. what specifically about the podcast are you seeing that's making a difference and why you're continuing to do it?
Well, first of all, we have 2 million downloads.
Okay.
And we do it through guests and having them promote, like we'll promote for you.
Sure.
And we have a process that we learned. Everything we're doing is not like organic.
Mm-hmm.
There's enough information out on the internet or with other people or with the people that we have in our employ that make us more sophisticated.
Mm-hmm.
So we decided that we were going to become more sophisticated. At one point we were doing it every day. We were doing a podcast every day.
Wow.
Well, we record stuff and
Releasing one every day.
Yeah, we were.
But now we're still 3 times a week. But I think that the important thing to understand is that we're current.
Yeah.
Podcast is the new black.
Yeah.
And while YouTube might have been the new black or Instagram might have been the new black, podcast is the new black.
Now, are you doing that through live streaming as well, or is it just,
So on Mondays, we have a show called Motivation Monday, and
I like it.
yeah, and we live stream it on Facebook, and we just changed it up a little bit now that we're going to this repurposing thing.
Mm-hmm.
So we actually recorded our Motivation Monday episode today, and today's Wednesday.
Our live show is pre-recorded, just so you understand.
Well, no. Our live show is live. It was live on Facebook today.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
And then it will be taken down. Well, not taken down, but it will be turned into a podcast for next Monday.
Yes.
Called Motivation Monday.
Right. Yeah. And it'll have a new intro, and it's pretty cool how it all works. But the reason we first started podcasting is because we were like, this is cool. This is new. Let's try it. Like we try things as experiments and see if they work, and at first it wasn't very fun.
No, it was a chore because we were learning about it and it was awkward.
Sure.
It was very awkward because we both have unique personalities and we both want to get the word in. And how do we co-host something together? And just everything around it was kind of like, this is new.
We would get to the studio, do the podcast, and then have a fight. that was our pretty much.
That's great.
Our MO.
That would have been the better part to record the fight.
Oh, no, believe
that
me.
would have been way more interesting.
You didn't do the thing. I didn't do the thing. You cut me off.
And so then
we got married anyway.
We did.
Podcast came in between us, but we decided.
You persevered.
Yeah.
In sickness, health, or podcast.
And podcasts.
the new wedding vows. I like it.
Exactly.
And then as we started to get better at it and learn how to both share the mic and, things to bring up and our strengths and stuff like that, we realized that the podcast was so much bigger than us. Like people will stop us on the street.
Yeah.
They usually recognize Jeffrey. They don't recognize me. That's okay. But my hair is always a different color and his bald head is very recognizable. Yeah. And then they'll hear my voice and you're Jen.
Yeah.
And it's really cool because they'll know so much about us. It humanizes your brand.
Sure.
And we're no longer just people who want to help you grow your business or grow your sales. We're the people who just, are raising a 10-year-old kid and have dogs and we're normal people kind of. And maybe, went somewhere on vacation last week and all about it and came back from the beach to do our show and chat with people. Like people remember this stuff.
Yeah.
And they know way too many details about our lives.
Sure.
But I think that's how you create the human connection.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. I want to go back many, many years. So looking through your timeline, right? You started developing a sales practice in 86. Is that right?
Yeah.
I was 3.
Yeah. Actually, I moved to Charlotte in 88.
Okay.
But I had already given speeches on sales and selling before that. I started actually giving speeches to groups in around 80, 81, 82.
In 92, you had your first published article.
Correct. March 23rd, if you're taking notes.
You've done your research.
Very well done.
In Charlotte Business Journal.
Correct.
Okay. So my question is this. I'm trying to bring it around. That at that point was elevating you to an expert or an authority.
Correct.
Right?
That's correct.
Is podcasting doing the same type of thing that printed articles did in that time frame?
Interestingly, print is no longer relevant.
Yeah.
Just don't take my word for it. Look at any daily newspaper in America, and let's talk about what their subscription rates. I tell my audiences, with the death of newspapers, puppies will have no place to be housebroken.
Yeah.
But I think that the challenge that you have is there's always a new thing to create relevance.
Sure.
And we're just looking at it. That's the evolution.
Just trying to adapt.
Yeah. I wrote because I wanted to be known as an expert. Now we podcast because we want to maintain our expert prowess.
And here's the cool thing about that. There are so many people out there who are like, I own a business, but I can never host a podcast. Like, I don't even know what I would talk about. Well, what would you write about? It's so much easier to talk than write, I think.
No.
And if you talk, then you can transcribe it for, I don't know, like 10 cents a minute or something. I mean, it's so freaking inexpensive, you know? You transcribe it and all of a sudden now you have a blog. So...
But when I started writing,
Mm-hmm.
writing was the only way you could become known.
Yeah.
Like, this is 1992. There was nothing.
Sure.
There was no internet. There was no nothing. So if you're in print, which was a very important part of my entire brand, the Business Journal, and I've said it many times, right to them, launched my career.
Yeah.
Literally, they gave me authenticity. They gave me expertise, and I would go to cities, and 500 people would pay me money to go see them.
Yeah.
To come see me.
Sure.
And I'm like amazed. I read your article all the time, everything, and people still have them.
Yeah.
Like 20 years later, people say, "Listen, I have a bunch of your articles. Can I send them to you? Will you sign them?" Like, yeah.
Yeah. Hey, thanks for listening to the Coffee Break Podcast. If this information has been helpful to you, or you just really kind of like our theme song, can you help us out by rating us on whatever app you're using? And if you get really fancy, how about sharing a screenshot on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or LinkedIn? Okay, enough of all this. Let's get back to the conversation. So in the process of starting, that was the ability to create an authority or some relevance.
Brand awareness.
To create brand awareness. And now with the new mediums, with YouTube and podcast and Instagram, all those things, now you have the ability to do it in an instant. You don't have to go through that entire process of the print and release and all that.
Let's reverse this. Okay. So you, Loc-Doc, changed our locks.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine if you invited us over, like, hey, we changed your locks out. We'd love to get to know you. You guys want to come over for coffee?
Sure.
We'd be like, that's a nice invite. Thanks. We'll figure out when.
Yeah.
You know, because like what really, I don't know, like maybe, and you know, depending on how much you sold it.
Sure.
But
we do have good coffee. But
Yeah. Can we get some graphite?
graphite in the coffee? Yes, that's exactly what it's.
No, but you invited us to come on your show, and that
We
got
still
us
didn't
in
want
the
to go.
door.
Yeah.
No, we still didn't. No, we did. We were.
We were excited.
Yeah, exactly.
So that got us in the door. And while we're here, you're like, let me just show you around to the studio. This was the last stop on the tour. And
Right.
we now see the inner workings of what you guys are doing. And it's so much bigger and better than we even thought. And we were already impressed.
We're going to recommend you to both of our friends.
I mean, there we
all
go.
two of them.
Yeah.
But how many people are we going to tell about this experience?
Lots.
And we're going to share it on social media. So does that help elevate your brand as well? Of course. Like, that's what podcasting can do.
The new OP, you know OP?
No.
What brand do you smoke? OPs? Other people's? This is OP.
Like, I totally lost me on that one.
This is OPP.
Yeah.
Other people's podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And so we come on to your podcast and we'll brag about it, and someone will listen as a result of our brag. And maybe their locks are fucked up.
Yeah.
And if they are, you'll get a call.
Sure.
And that's how it works. You can't expect it all at once, but it'll happen.
So why don't people do it? Like, why don't more people do it?
They're afraid of the tech. They think it's hard. They don't see the immediate result. They can't tie revenue to it.
Yeah, there's no ROI.
How many downloads gets me $1? Like, no one can figure that out. I mean, there's just,
No,
you know.
it's a 6-to-1 ratio, I think. No, 74-to-1.
74, yeah, exactly. 74 is the favorite number.
Yeah. But I mean, there's just so many reasons. And I think they're kind of scared.
No self-confidence, no personal brand awearness, no understanding of the marketplace, thinking it's not relevant, thinking it's not for them.
Thinking like, I own a locksmith company. what would I podcast about? No one wants to hear about other people's locks. They don't, but if your people are
Very true.
no offense.
That's why we don't talk about locks.
Right, but if your people are business owners, of course they want to hear about business and growing business and stuff like that. So
And you build loyalty.
yeah.
Did you do the locks at Paper Skyscraper?
You're trying to figure out if they're secure or something?
Yeah, no, those guys were cool. And that's worth having on the show, business owners, to talk about how they built their business. That's one of the most
The
well-known
former
gift stores
owners.
in America.
Yeah.
So you have those guys, they're customers of yours. You invite your customer on, number one, you build loyalty. No, number two, they actually start to know who you are as a business person.
Yeah.
And number three, they brand themselves. They become authentic as a result of being on this show.
Yeah.
Well, we were already authentic when we got here, but
Sure. You didn't need me to
But these 2 hours of your time, maybe hour and a half, could result in a ton more business, referrals, loyalty, all that. And I think that business owners have a hard time seeing that.
Yeah.
They have a hard time, if you make a sale, you know exactly how much profit margin you have. But you have no idea what this could result in. And it's probably way bigger than that profit margin from that one sale.
it's also out of their comfort zone.
Yes.
It's not in their wheelhouse, so to speak. And so they would have to do something you put this, for those of you who are listening, this is a gorgeous studio. They invested
Money.
hundreds of dollars in this.
I mean, this IKEA table is like $12.
Yeah, let me tell you something.
It looks nice.
Right. They have thousands of dollars in the studio with people that are here. We're not just
It's well protected.
very well protected and very well produced.
Yes.
So if you're going to do it, you can't do it half-assed. You have to,
Yeah. Put in the effort.
Yeah.
Well-
We're the second best lock company in Charlotte. No.
Yeah.
No, we're the best lock company in Charlotte, and we're proving it by having the best podcast studio. Of all the other locksmiths in Charlotte, of which there are none that have a podcast.
Pretty confident.
Right. So you set yourself apart immediately.
Sure.
Correct? Now, in our business, lots of people have podcasts, lots of them.
Yeah.
But luckily, we're better than all them.
Sure.
And it's not even close.
That's the goal, right?
Yeah.
So long-term versus short-term relationship building. I know that's something that you guys talk about regularly. This is an actual play for a long-term relationship
Correct.
versus the short-term transactional sell.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're all about long term.
Yeah.
I mean,
Totally. Because if you make a cold call and you make a sale, the odds are you have to make another cold call to make another sale. And that's not how we work it. I'd rather have something out there that's valuable that someone calls me. And I've delivered 2,500 speeches in the last 25 years.
Yeah.
Never made one sales call.
Yeah.
Every single person who has ever hired me calls me first.
Sure.
Because of the Little Red Book of Selling, column in the Business Journal, podcast, YouTube channel.
Yeah.
So I put value out in order to be able to receive someone who's interested.
Gotcha.
My marketing mantra is I put myself in front of people that can say yes to me, and I deliver value first. And that one thing has built our business.
Sure.
Literally built our business. But most people don't understand that you have to put the value out in order to be able to get somebody to call them. You think you have to advertise. And if you have a full page ad in the Yellow Pages, you'll be the first one to. And where are the Yellow Pages now?
Yeah, exactly.
They're broke.
Well,
They're broken. They're not broke. They're broken.
Sure.
No, who cares about the Yellow Pages? Have you looked at the Yellow Pages in 10 years?
No.
But you still get them.
I
Do
don't
you?
even. I don't.
Yeah,
we
they
don't
have
get them.
Yeah, I don't
We
even
leave
know.
them downstairs in the lobby when they deliver them.
Right, exactly. But no one, if you have a baby, you need a booster seat,
Yeah.
boom, you
Yeah.
got the Yellow Pages.
But I think in today's world, people want something right now.
True.
Okay. If you go to Safari or Chrome on your internet browser, on your computer, and it takes like an extra second,
You're
like
tapping
even
your
an
finger, yeah.
extra half a second to load. I mean, you did it yesterday to me.
I
You're
know.
like, are you on the wrong Wi-Fi? Why isn't it loading? I'm like, it's been like a second. Calm down.
Yes.
But we expect it to happen right now.
Yep.
And so with sales and selling and business, people want the same thing.
Yes.
I want that sale right now. I want that relationship right now. If I have to follow up too many times, I'm not used to that in my normal life because in my normal life, things happen right away. You order something on Amazon, it's already at your doorstep
Prime
before you
is
get
a
home.
verb.
Yeah.
Prime is a verb.
It's
and if
very
you want
true.
to talk about what are the benchmarks that help build that company, 2-day delivery.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Just a reminder, you're listening to the Coffee Break Podcast. Also, we wanted to let you know that our team puts together a weekly blog post. You can find it at locdoc.net/blog. It's guaranteed to raise your IQ by 12 points or your money back. So it's pretty much a win-win. All right, back to the conversation. No, we've had so many conversations about how Amazon has just transformed everything, and how it's made it. I don't say it's made it more difficult for companies because everybody's had to raise the bar, but it's been better for the consumer, right? Because it's
phenomenal.
It's forced everybody to raise the bar.
You know what? I raised the bar. Tough shit.
Yeah.
The bar should have been raised. People have been living in the land of lazy.
Well, also the internet changed that too, and the ability to access things on your phone from wherever you are.
Mm-hmm.
But you were saying at the beginning that you're like the pizza delivery time frame. I don't know how you worded it of locks, and that's the thing. Like that's what people expect, but sales and building relationships don't happen that fast.
Correct.
And so, if you're a business owner, you need to like take a step back and slow it down.
Yeah.
Let's go to Amazon for just a second.
Okay.
When they started out, they almost went broke.
Mm-hmm.
They were in the book business.
Yeah.
And people would not put their credit card online.
Yeah.
Because they thought they were going to lose their identity.
Sure.
Like, don't flatter yourself. Just give it a whack.
Yeah.
But once they hit acceptance, it went through the roof.
Yeah.
And the guy was smart enough to have a vision to where they wanted to, why just sell a book? You can sell a bookmarker. You can sell a reading glasses. And all this. Now they sell refrigerators and drones.
Yeah.
So they'll probably deliver by drone.
Yeah.
The drone will call us on the phone and go, come downstairs. I'm going to drop this in your lap.
Sure. Well,
No, the robot will bring it up.
Yeah. That would be a lot better. Who needs to get off the couch?
Right.
Yeah, well, we have to give them a code. It's a pain in the ass on our building.
The robot will know the code more than the Amazon delivery person.
Here's the deal, though. They gained, that's true, they gained acceptance over time. They didn't gain acceptance. They almost went out.
Remember, people were scared to put their credit cards on the internet?
Yeah.
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 Because what's going to happen? Well, here's what people don't know. If someone blows up your credit card, the bank pays.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a very valid point of the fact of staying consistent and waiting for the adoption to happen or the adaptation to happen, because there's people like anything new, there's a little bit of hesitation. But as you stay consistent and just stick with it, then all of a sudden everybody goes, okay, this works. I know for us, there's been some products that we have introduced years ago, but we were a little ahead of the technology curve. And we were trying to offer a cloud type service before cloud was accepted. The moment that Apple released iCloud,
exactly,
it just
boom.
Everybody was like, "Oh, I get it now."
Oh, that's the cloud.
Yeah.
And so you're sitting there talking about the cloud for 5 years, trying to explain
the cloud,
it.
for those of you who don't understand it or listening, the cloud is in New Jersey, and everything just kind of hovers over the state of New Jersey, and all things emanate from there.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, everyone knows that.
But it's very true. You know, if that had not happened, then we would have continued to struggle selling that product. And so at some point in time, Amazon was sitting there clicking away. And once people got comfortable with the process of putting their information online, then all of a sudden things changed.
And then they prime it. The verb prime has revolutionized the way everyone delivers. And in fact, there was so much inconsistency in the delivery service business that Amazon went out and built their own.
Yeah.
Like, we guarantee you 2 days, but FedEx or UPS are screwed up. We'll just do it ourselves.
Yeah.
We can do it cheaper.
That's very true.
We can do it better. The drivers can't read yet, but they're getting there.
Yeah.
And you have to recognize that Amazon literally is a 20-year-old company. Mm-hmm. What was Ford Motor like when it was 20 years old?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, what was the television like when it was 20 years old?
But look at our expectations.
Oh, we
expect them to do it perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the technology code of it exponentially improves is part of the process, because the motor companies, the Ford Motor Companies or Chevy Motor Companies, they haven't figured it out yet.
Yeah.
Tesla's worth more money than they are.
Yeah.
Isn't that scary?
It's crazy, yeah.
Huh? But that's how it is, because they sat on their hands like BlackBerry.
Mm-hmm.
And luckily, they didn't go out of business. BlackBerry's out of business.
Yeah.
Well, they're out of business.
They're out of the market. So, yeah. All right, we're going to take a break from this conversation and we will pick up on part 2 next week. So make sure you check that out. It's going to be an incredibly exciting conversation, part 2 of this conversation with Jeffrey and Jen Gitomer. Let me encourage you, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe. Loc-Doc.net/podcast. You can get there, and all of the link subscriptions to all of the podcast networks that we're available on are right there, so you can easily access that and get all of the updates and the new episodes as they come out every Tuesday at 9 a.m. We do this on video version as well. If you're just listening to this, if this is your first time watching or listening, make sure you check that out. It's on YouTube and Facebook. Just search LOC-DOC, and you'll find all of the video links there, and you can see the actual video version of this podcast as well. And then obviously you can subscribe to the audio version online at Loc-Doc.net/podcast. New episodes every Tuesday. We look forward to seeing you next week for part 2 of this conversation.